One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only so can be restored. He takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning to everybody. Let's get this one on the road, man. Shout out to all you legends up in here. Big round of applause over to you guys in the Breakfast Club, man. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. If you guys didn't know, I had a cat. I had a little kitten come up to me while I was outside a couple of nights ago. And real quick before we get into it, out of nowhere, this cat just showed up right in front of my doorstep while I was outside hanging out, drinking with a buddy of mine. And cat just popped up out of nowhere. And I'm like, well, this cat is going to unfortunately die if I don't take her in. So let me show you guys. Say hi. Really, you little tiny thing. She's like 4 weeks old. Yep. So she'll be cruising around, hanging out with us. Anyways, big, much love, honor, respect to all you guys. Hopefully you all are doing well and swell up in here, man. And real quick to bang this one off, we got Brother Steve saying with the $5 super saying Mike eats bananas for the shape and not the taste. Stop the cap.
Not the cap.
But I'm going to give you a W for the money aspect, right? Yeah. You already know what's going down over here, dude. That's so funny. What up, Hardwire? What up, guys? Hopefully you guys are all having a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Real quick, we got to do the call to actions. Make sure to hit that like button. It's the number one metric of all of YouTube as well. If you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button down below. Also, please consider becoming a member of the channel. Starting at $2.99 a month, we made sure that, hey, it can be affordable for everybody type thing. So I very much appreciate you guys and your guys' patronage, as well as if you guys don't want YouTube to have that brutal 30% cut, we'll allow these to scroll at the bottom so we can hit that. And of course, they're all shouted out just like any supers or subs or any of that or members. Of course, we're going to be giving all those a shout out. So good morning, y'all. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with the with YouTube, limiting you. It just is what it is. It's certainly with certain subjects as well. I think that's what we've kind of come down to. We got Redneck Motorcycle Whip saying, what up, Mike Ball? We love seeing that head every day. Thank you so much for the support. No, thank you, kind sir. And appreciate you guys over there on Redneck Motorcycle Whips, man. Appreciate you guys. As well as Carney coming in hot, gifting out a membership to you guys. Thank you, kind sir. Hopefully you guys are having a good one. We got Brother Lee Lance up in here. Hopefully you are doing well. I know that the old lady's not feeling too good. I'm sorry to hear that. Good to see you, Dragon. So, guys, we've got an interesting one this morning. Not something, of course, I want to be able to report on, but it is actively kind of happening now. And so I woke up early today, and I did see that there was some craziness going on overseas. So we're gonna move on over into the Middle East, as you guys see that. We labeled this Israeli airstrike kills 8 in Lebanon, and there's also the Donald Trump conviction ruling that is actively going on right this second, I think. So we'll have to skip through it because I found this was reported at 6 a.m. Eastern. So, you know what I mean? This is a little bit of maybe a few hours ago, but they're still live right this second. So let's go ahead and check it out. This is off of Live Now from Fox. They started 5 hours ago, and so yeah, that tells you they've been a lot of shit going on in the news today. So let's go ahead and hop into this, man. Let's figure out what's going on.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm Jeanne Francine here with you on this Tuesday morning. It is November 12th, a few minutes shy from the top of the 6 o'clock hour here on the East Coast. We do have a lot of news and headlines to share with you on this Tuesday morning, but we do begin with breaking news overnight as relates to the Middle East conflict. Take a live look at airstrikes happening
in the moment as they're like reporting this. They're catching this live on the camera, live actual airstrikes. I mean, you can see the destruction already.
Real time out in Beirut, Lebanon. We're learning from the Associated Press, Lebanon's health ministry
it may
is
be
reporting
been
an
delayed.
Israeli airstrike hit a home, leaving several people dead. Rescue crews scrambling to pull survivors from the rubble on Monday night. The health ministry goes on to say 8 people were killed, 14 others injured when an Israeli airstrike wiped out a home in northern Lebanon. It's not yet clear this morning what Israel's intended.
Brother Dean over here, over there in Israel himself. Yep, another day at the office, kind sir. I'm sorry that, just it's craziness all the way around, isn't it?
Target was. Joining us live to further discuss this breaking news alert is Dr. Asaf Ramarowski, the Executive Director of Scholars for Peace.
Nice, good to see you over here. Good morning to you.
Dr. Asaf, good morning. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Now, this man right here, this man knows the deal. So hopefully he does us justice in his reporting on this one. It says at least 8 killed, 14 injured in an Israeli airstrike on Lebanon. So we're going to go ahead and check that out.
So we are seeing in real time that the conflict in Lebanon nowhere near over, and a lot of controversy surrounding this because we know Israel's new defense minister stated over the weekend that they were getting near the end of defeating Hezbollah.
Yo, shout out to Aaron, man. Good to see you, kind sir. Hopefully you're doing well.
All true. So let's contextualize what we've seen over the past few hours. I mean, so only over the past few hours alone,
coffee time,
we've seen actually 190 rockets that have been fired at Israel.
190
was an attack.
Whoa, 190
that have been fired at Israel. Just this morning, there was an attack by a drone attack on a kindergarten. Nobody was hurt. Fortunately,
I appreciate you guys, by the way. Hey, I ended up getting a little too hammered Sunday night. You know what I mean? And I had my buddy from out of town come and visit me, and we definitely were up late. And also drinking. So yeah, that's what ended up happening there. At least I'm honest with you guys about it.
He was harmed, and that's positive. But the war in Lebanon continues. It's far from over.
What's up, Slim?
All of this continues as a result of the politics in the area, as well as the uncertainty. So first of all, you did see, to your point, that Netanyahu fired his minister of defense. And so that is...
Yep. I think it's every single time it comes down to what we're talking about. It's usually the topic at hand that seems to just get everybody... where nobody can even say anything in the chat properly. Like when people are trying to say hi, like that's getting censored. Like that shit is crazy.
Cause a little bit of a change, and they're testing the waters regarding the reaction time. Secondly, obviously, no less important, even maybe potentially more important, is of course our elections here as regarding the fact that Trump was elected. And so also seeing what does this mean as far as the next administration come January. This is all part of the politics that are involved into all of this.
Absolutely.
And third, which is something that we've been waiting and talking about, of course, is the retaliation from Iran from the last attack. And so all of that is part of the chain reaction that you're seeing.
Dean, I've got a question. So the 190 missiles that he's talking about right here, that was coming to Israel, when did that happen? Did that happen like a couple of nights ago, or is this something that he's referring to that happened a minute ago? Like I don't even know about those 190 missiles unless he's referring to a few weeks ago.
Seeing here, because Iran, as it has been doing consistently, has been using its proxies, namely Hamas and Hezbollah, to do its
the airport.
The pressure on the Israelis.
What up, Papa?
And that still continues going onward. And let's not forget that you still have between 60 to 70,000 Israeli citizens who have been still displaced from the north. Nobody's gone home. Schools have not been operating properly. There's an issue of the supply chain in Israel. So all of this, the war still continues, as it's been going on. And as we've stated before, Hezbollah, even though it has been significantly hurt, that is to say, the top brass, the leadership has been taken out,
they're definitely hurting
out successfully by the Israelis. They still have a significant stockpile of munitions, of long-range missiles, and from their perspective, the war still continues.
That's very true. That is very true because it is bought and paid for, Big Joe, and that's why we always have to look past the bullshit and go through the smoking mirrors of all that shit. And hence why I even asked Dean when that happened, rather than me looking to the mainstream media on that.
And it has been going on for over 400 days now.
What's up, Shadow?
Over a year plus, and this is and the war is still continuing, given the fact that they are motivated, and the marching orders are coming directly out of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Great points you're making, as always, Dr. Rassaf. So the question now, how do we move forward with aid towards this conflict? You mentioned so many moving parts as we look at Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, also Yemen Houthi rebels, noticing that the conflict is far from over.
You know what? You may be fucking absolutely right, because this censorship ain't going to, last too much longer. So you might be damn right there,
Also
SMS.
looking at what a Trump presidency looks like. You did hit on that, as we do know Donald Trump now president-elect here in the U.S.
So they're watching very carefully. The Iranians are known for their patience, and they're trying to see what kind of moving parts are indeed going to play out here. We are seeing...
I didn't know Iran was at all practicing patience.
Worthy of note that Trump has been appointing individuals to his cabinet. Just yesterday, it was reported that Marco Rubio will be the new Secretary of State, and so that will definitely be a shift in a policy based on Rubio's track record versus Anthony Blinken, as far as how they've been conducting the region. I suspect we'll see a much more of aggressive and a much more
at least on my side, gunpowder nitro. I don't hold any. Anytime I'm up here doing an exchange or anything, I actually appreciate the exchange, even when it's, let's say they act different. That's not up to me. You know what I mean? I can only control myself and what I say, right? But I don't have any issues on my side.
Powerful use of support for our ally, the State of Israel. I think that there will be potentially more military support and more.
Whoa. I saw that kind of comment, Barbie, when you showed me that you guys are censored like a motherfucker for media up there, which only just happened in 2023. I had no idea that they literally treat Canada like China now, which is insane. That's insane, isn't it?
Blessings for the Israelis to do whatever is needed.
Yes, sir, Danny. Drive safe.
I mean, I think that a lot of these moving issues here are also related to trying to see what kind of a lame duck presidency that is left between now and January under the Biden administration. Will they do or not do at large? I think Lebanon is a fractured and is in a failed state. Hezbollah is still around, still managing the show. There needs to be a de-Hezbollification of Lebanon altogether. I
like that word that you just used.
The Israelis have a long history with Hezbollah, given the fact
Anson
that
up in the building.
They have fought 2 full-scale wars with Lebanon. The concern in Israel is another third war. The whole stability of all of the region itself relies within this northern area. And that has to do, of course, with the fact that
you know what we need right now? I'm sorry, everybody. We're going to have to stop the reporting for our left-handed tobacco break. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit!
We're getting down with our bad selves. Sorry about it.
Have long learned the lessons of these ongoing attacks for years. But the economic consequences, the fact that the entire northern section of Israel, the fact that you're seeing rockets fall into the center and center north of Israel speaks to their capabilities. And so this is really a significant issue for the Israelis itself. The number one demand, and still has been going on for years now, is pushing Hezbollah back beyond 10 kilometers beyond the Litani River. I think that itself is not even enough. It's in on its own.
See, the whole thing about the TikTok ban, at least here, I don't care if they're just banning TikTok, for instance, but that's not what they're doing. You know that. The face of the bill is TikTok, but they really don't give a fuck about that. It's only because they don't have control over it. The government doesn't have, direct control within TikTok. So I understand that part. But what ended up happening like 6 months ago is they passed the Restrict Act underneath the face of TikTok. And they really fucked over Americans that way. Like, we lost a lot of freedom that day.
There needs to be a whole change in Lebanon. But the fact is that for Iran, Hezbollah, represents
That's right, Joseph.
this kind of contiguous Shia line. Whoa,
we got to do a big halt right now. We got Todd J up in the building, coming in hot. Look at that. We got to give him a round of applause for 2 months, man. Let's go freedom and unity, family worldwide. Absolutely, Todd J. I appreciate you always, and I appreciate your always positive comments. I love that shit. We got Clover Tack up in here as well, saying government opening fucking doors is bad. I gotta agree with you, kind sir.
On all the way to Lebanon, and they are putting the pressure on. They want to continue. That they're motivated, and that's been since 10/8. Since a day after the war began.
You have no second. You have no first. Facts.
Hamas. Hezbollah has been a partner, hook, line, and sinker with all of this.
Yeah, and you talk about that mounting pressure.
How long do you guys think we've got until Papa just said? He said, no digital government currency. But that's going to be pushed onto the American people. That's going to happen. So when do you think it'll happen? And how do you think they're going to end up doing it? That's the question.
For many of the viewers this morning, they feel like that pressure might increase even more now that some of these world leaders and terroristic organizations know that President-elect Trump will soon be the next commander-in-chief. Trump has been very vocal, saying that many of these world leaders fear him, for lack of better words, but also they respect him. He says if he was in the White House, none of these conflicts probably would have even happened in the first place.
Well, I think that we are going back, if you go back to the last Trump administration's maximum pressure tactic, I think that there's a lot of unknowns. And I think that the unknowns when it comes to the players in the region about how Trump will react is part of his as part of the fear factor and part of the his added value here.
No way. So how do you think that's going to play out, Gary? That's very interesting. He just said Michigan is going to vote on 4 more gun control bills this week, trying to push them through before the Republicans take the state house back in January. Now, that's going to be brutal. Now, I hope Michigan does what's right. Now, here's the thing. Are they allowing the vote to happen for the people are voting, or is it the people in like Congress and like House seats and shit like that? Is that what's going on?
That's crazy. The fact that they don't know how he's going to respond, and they're afraid of that. That is indeed that's an asset in that regard. He's not a conventional statecraft architect, and so I think that there's many advantages to all of that at large. That being said, it has been reported that Netanyahu has spoken to Trump since the election 3 times, according to the reports that have come out. And they are on the same page, according to those reports.
I did not see that, Steve. I'm not surprised.
And that means that they understand, or I would guesstimate the understanding of that Iran is indeed responsible.
Right here.
And is the hydra for everything we've seen since 10/7. To my mind, there is a question of whether now is the time, and I think that now should be a good time to go after the nuclear program that Iran has, to devastate the Iranians, to have actual teeth in the game, and to show what these red lines are when it comes to deterrence. Because Iran is holding all the cards, especially when it comes to Hezbollah and Hamas now, when it comes to financially, when it comes to the training, when it comes to militarily. So again, going to the source is something we should consider doing. That being said, I mean, we are in this period of time and the transition of the White House, as far as the next, as far as from moving from Biden to Trump.
Yeah, let me know what you find on that, Clover Tack, regarding Michigan. I know that you're the Superman to talk to about anything gun-related, gun laws, and stuff like that. Yeah.
What kind of legacy each president leaves to the other. Trump has also made comments that he would like to see the war being over before he enters office. And so there is definitely a lot of movements here as to what the Israelis and what the current lame duck Biden administration will give the Israelis a green light to do before January 20th. That said, I don't think it's that simple and that's quick. I think the war has been, there are many moving parts as we've described here. But I do think that the Trump administration will be a better partner for the Israelis, given the fact that they have, what their track record and their understanding of the multi-front war that Israel has been fighting and the larger threats that we're seeing in the area at large.
Well, Dr. Asaf, I know many people share that same sentiment this morning. Thank you so much for joining us for this breaking news alert. We always appreciate your thoroughness and perspective on these topics. I hope you have a great and safe rest of your day.
Honestly, I really appreciate this guy's reporting. He does fairly well.
Thank you as always.
I want to get back
We've
to
watched,
this.
we've had him cover stories from the Middle East multiple times on here.
Shot out in Beirut, Lebanon. Another airstrike happening as we were concluding that interview. We know Israel's new defense minister said that his country defeated Hezbollah, but you can see in real time the fighting still intensifying there in southern Lebanon. Fox News correspondent Trey Yinks joining us this morning from Tel Aviv, Israel, to explain.
The fighting in Lebanon grinds on, but top Israeli officials are suggesting it could come to an end soon. Over the weekend, Israel's new defense minister...
Man, the IDF does not play, do they?
Israel Katz said his country has defeated Hezbollah, naming the elimination of Hassan Nasrallah as the crowning achievement.
Now, he was the predecessor, right? He was the next in line
of the war.
For Hezbollah,
but
right?
At the same time, Israeli airstrikes are ongoing, killing dozens in Lebanon on Sunday. The new Israeli foreign minister says he hopes to be able to announce a ceasefire in the coming weeks.
We are working with the Americans on the issue. There is progress, and we will be ready to be there if we will know that Hezbollah will not be able to arm again.
But Hezbollah says that's news to them. The militant group claims it has not received any formal communications about a pause in the fighting. And on Monday, they fired more than 150 rockets into northern Israel.
Damn.
We hear a lot of talk, but so far we have not had anything official, and I do not expect that there will be anything concrete soon.
Meanwhile, the Israeli government is preparing for a possible shift in tactics when Donald Trump takes office.
Of course.
In January. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hinted Israel and the U.S. might confront Iran more directly. After speaking 3 times...
Much love, Brother Bob. Hopefully you're having a good day at work, man. Hopefully you're doing good, man.
The president-elect in just the past week.
We see eye to eye on the Iranian threat, on all its components, and the danger posed by it.
Israeli President Isaac Herzog is visiting the U.S. this week. He'll meet with President Biden on Tuesday. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yinks, Fox News.
Trey, thank you so much. And as Herzog meets with President Biden today, if we are able to get into that closed-door meeting and share a shot and audio with you, we will do so right here on Live Now from Fox. Showing you this live look again out in Beirut, Lebanon, just further showing that the conflict with Hezbollah is far from over. Again, all of those airstrikes from Hezbollah into Israel, you're seeing the aftermath of that now happening there in Beirut, Lebanon. Retaliation from Israeli Defense Forces, just further showing that maybe what the Israeli defense minister said about his country defeating Hezbollah is in fact
fucking facts, Clover. That's hilarious.
Not the case at this time. 6:10 is the time here on the East Coast. I'm Jeanne Francine. We're going to go to our first 2-minute commercial break.
No, we're not. We're going to skip that.
When we come back, an update as relates to the Ukraine-Russia war.
Oh,
with updates.
We definitely want to hear that.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox as we continue with your top stories and headlines this Tuesday morning. We're learning as President-elect Trump prepares for a second term.
Now this ordeal in Ukraine, yeah, Trump is definitely going to put an end to this.
details are emerging about his efforts to end the war in Ukraine. It comes as Ukrainian and Russian troops ramp up their drone strikes on one another. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palkett joins us now with the latest.
Russian forces launching a massive airstrike on southern and eastern Ukraine on Monday.
What? You never got to apologize, allegedly. Allegedly says, morning, sorry, I'm perpetually late, LOL. A huge thank you for your service to all your members and subscribers. Yes, everybody that served, man. That was one thing that I wasn't able to do, obviously, since I was offline yesterday. I was not able to wish all of you guys that are actively in here a happy Veterans Day to all of you guys that served. It's a humongous W. Thank you guys for your service and all the, that's an extremely selfless act. So thank you guys. And allegedly coming in super hot right now with the $20 yellow sticker, man. I appreciate you with that. That's humongous. So thank you very, very much for the patronage to the channel. Thank you very much.
Killing multiple people
What up,
and
Road
injuring
Rage?
dozens more. The Washington Post is reporting President-elect Trump recently spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Oh, that's fucking terrible. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Please, after the show, keep me up to date what's going on. And also, real quick, we got Mr. Boulay up in the building, sending a 20 spot. Says, please contact your senators and urge them to vote for Rick Scott, which he's a Republican in Florida, as Senate Majority Leader. He's the only one who's 100% on board with Trump's planned administration. Also, tell them to the vote should be transparent and not secret. Absolutely. I believe all that shit should be out in the open, Mr. Boulay. And thank you so much for your patronage, kind sir, and also a W over the Roll Tide. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, kind sir.
Urged him not to escalate the war, but Putin's spokesperson denies the call took place. Trump also spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last week.
Kitty just crawled up the chair. This little thing is tiny. I'm not even sure how you were able to climb that. Dang. Really adamant about being on my lap. This little thing. You gonna show them how you purr? Go play. All right.
As questions remain about what his second term in office means for the conflict.
If President Putin has a victory in Ukraine, and the other fear is that more further abroad, the Chinese would get the wrong sort of lesson if President Putin is seen to succeed.
Trump has vowed to end the war quickly, but he's criticized the scale of U.S. military.
It's a little, yeah, Papa, 100%. And not only that, it's kind of funny, but within the first 24 hours of Trump, winning the election, the first 24 hours, he had spoke to 38 world leaders. I mean, we're talking, Putin, Kim Jong-un, Zelensky, you name who, Netanyahu, everybody.
Support for Ukraine, raising concerns he would abandon Kyiv in its fight. The White House says President Biden will urge Trump not to walk away from Ukraine during a meeting this week.
It should be up to the United States and a coalition of nations that we have built to continue to supply Ukraine with the means to defend itself against brutal Russian aggression.
It comes as both sides ramp up the fighting more than 2 years into the conflict. Over the weekend, Ukrainian and Russian troops fired a record number of drones.
Brother Dwayne is always out there working his ass off. Man, the last time I think you were telling me you were painting some door jambs or something like that. And fuck that. I used to paint houses, dude. It sucked. I used to be the guy taking down the doors in every house and sanding the damn doors. Oh my God. I remember all that shit.
Including some that targeted Moscow. Most of those
that's
were
right.
shot down.
That's right, Clover.
Ukraine's attack on Moscow was the biggest drone strike on Russia's capital since the beginning of the war. In London, Greg Malcott, Fox News.
Oh,
Greg,
wow,
thank you so much
Gary.
for that detailed report. And on this Tuesday morning, we are also keeping a close eye on this year's United Nations Climate Change Summit, opening remarks about to take place. So let's go ahead and go to
disaster relief for a 6-county region at the former Wurtsmith AFB. I don't know what Wurtsmith AFB is, but this is in Michigan. How do you say that? Escoda, Michigan. Yeah, I'm illiterate as fuck.
For a second 2-minute commercial break of the hour. We'll be right back.
You know, I was thinking for the cat's name, I was thinking, you know what? Either Sage, Wheels, and now Puffball. Because we can kind of, Puffball, that would be kind of cool. That's paying tribute to both the left-handed tobacco and also, the Ball family, They are insane, by the way. Oh, I thought we skipped through. It's not. Hold on.
The warming planet. Controversy this morning surrounds the conference, also heating up. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten takes a closer look at all the action and concerns this morning, especially surrounding the recent election of President-elect Donald Trump and what it could mean for future climate talks.
A lot of people across the world have very little trust in the United Nations system.
Protests,
Yeah. The UN? Mm-hmm.
lack of faith in leadership, and concerns over President-elect Donald Trump's leadership are all
We need to get away from the UN and NATO altogether. Fuck them.
rocking this year's United Nations Climate Change Summit in Azerbaijan.
COP29 is an unmissable moment to chart a new path forward for everyone.
The goal of this conference is to figure out how to finance trillions of dollars to help nations transition to clean energy sources.
666 up in the
especially
building, my
poor
man.
countries with fewer
Over there in
resources.
England.
Climate finance is at the heart of the Paris Agreement.
Damn, fix that dude's freaking microphone. I mean, you could be from India and not have Indian microphone quality. Damn it.
It's an ambitious task, easier said than done. And
Oh,
some
Air
officials
Force
fear
Base.
it may
Got
only
you.
grow more complex if major players like the United States withdraw. President-elect Trump maintains that he will back the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Agreement once again when he takes office.
Trump's re-election can never be an excuse for other nations to scale back the
Or
ambition
cheeseball.
needed.
President Joe Biden sent a delegation with a member issuing this
Patience
warning
says
about the incoming administration.
In January, we're going to inaugurate a president whose relationship to climate change is captured by the words hoax and fossil fuels.
Meanwhile,
I was thinking of kind of doing the mascot thing and just calling her Wheels. That would have been kind of cool too. I was thinking of Wheels, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm
Climate
going to do.
advocates are condemning COP29 being hosted by an oil-producing country, accusing its leaders of trying to greenwash past human rights abuses.
Yep.
COP29 is being held in Azerbaijan, which is a repressive occupying state, which have committed.
That's one nice fucking kitty right there. That's one nice fucking kitty right there. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Ethnic cleansing.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Gary, thank you so much, and giving you a live look out in Azerbaijan as controversy continues this Tuesday morning surrounding this UN climate change summit. As we know, President-elect Donald Trump does have ties to this. We do see that UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has now taken the podium to speak at this climate change summit. Let's listen in.
Accurate as all get down, Papa Penguin. He says everyone flying on jets there and eating $1,000 dinners served by some of the poorest people in the world, and none of them see the irony. No, they see the irony. They just want to pretend like that they don't see it for the public's opinion. As long as they keep that under wraps, yeah, it's crazy. This is why we should go back to straight public shame.
This government recognizes that the world stands.
God dang. Fix their damn audio over there.
In the climate crisis. And the United Kingdom not only has a critical role to play, but also an opportunity to bruise.
Not that I saw evil, and I can't understand a word that this dude's saying yet.
Opportunities for Britain.
United Nations, did we stop funding them or something like that? Did we stop funding them so they got some dog fucking shit? Not only media coverage, but also, audio. Where's the damn audio? Where's the audio? Where's the engineer? You know, where's this guy?
And
had to fire him.
more secure in the here and now. The way I see it, there are two paths ahead.
Good call, Martin.
One, the path of inaction and delay, leading to further decline and vulnerability. Warming above 1.5 degrees.
That's actually really damn clever too, Joseph. Calling her Dinah. That's I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty sick.
Will expose hundreds of thousands more people in the UK to flood risk, greater economic instability and national insecurity.
Facts, Hardwire.
Or second, the path we walk, eyes wide open, not just to the challenges of today, but also fixed firmly.
What's up, Moto Noggin? We can't understand anything yet.
This is the path towards national security, energy independence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying right there. This is our government, our tax money going to this audio right fucking here. Only because, not because we don't give enough taxes. We definitely do. We definitely do. You know they're gonna misuse all those funds.
Ability necessary to boost living standards for working people. Now, let me be clear.
Yes, Steve.
There is no national security.
I'm gonna knight you.
There is no economic security. There is no global security without climate security. And this is a huge opportunity for investment, for UK businesses, for...
I'll get little kitten lokes, you know what I mean? I'll get some kitten lokes to go with it. Maybe some Air Forces or some shit. Cortezes, to be honest.
Workers, if we act now to lead the world in the economy of tomorrow. This is how we move towards better jobs, cheaper bills, higher growth, the industries and technologies of the future.
No kidding, Beezer.
And ensure the prosperity and security of our nation for decades to come. And
Yo, Brother Straight Jacket, good to see you, kind sir. Good morning, good morning.
Security of
I'm trying to
nation
understand what the hell this guy's
are
saying.
the issues that the British people care about. And that is why from the beginning this government
You know what we care about at this point? We care about good audio.
done things differently. Restoring our role as a climate leader on the world stage, as well as taking action at home.
I like
In the
that.
first 100 days of this government, we struck the ban on onshore wind.
Do me a favor, send that over to me on my Instagram, Evil Rick.
Committed to no new North Sea oil and gas licenses, began to renew those North Sea communities with a program of investment in the jobs and industries of the future.
Well, you definitely missed some things. I'm sure we're going to circle right back around to it after this conference with the climate change summit. So lame. But once we get past that, I'm sure I'll circle back around into the Middle East. And so far we've covered what's going on in Lebanon. And this morning they were actively getting airstruck by the IDF from Israel. And also we covered a little bit of what's going on in not too much. I really hope that they go back into it where they're going to talk more about Ukraine. But basically it's just strategies are changing because Trump, made it back into office.
We closed the UK's final coal power plant at the end of September, becoming the very first G7 economy to phase out coal power.
No kidding,
At the
Kava.
same time, we are on a mission to achieve clean power by 2030. We launched Great British Energy.
Shit.
Oh shit!
Shit.
A clean British energy company to improve our energy resilience.
What do you have,
bring
Evil?
down people's bills and create...
Do you have any of the mods' contact information? Or any way to be able to send that somewhere to like one of the people in here that they can relay it back to me?
The next generation of good, well-paid jobs. We set up the National Wealth Fund to invest in tomorrow's key industries, to build the infrastructure.
Straight off of
the
Temu.
wind farms, the solar farms, the grid infrastructure.
Yes, the microphone is straight from Temu. 100%.
To power and connect our country for decades to come. Because, make no mistake, the race is on for the clean energy jobs of the future. The economy.
All right, let me grab
tomorrow. And I don't want to be in the middle of the pack. I want to get ahead of the game. whether that's with carbon capture in Teesside and Merseyside, where last month I announced funding for carbon capture, utilisation and storage projects that will create 4,000 new jobs using the skills of oil and gas communities as we accelerate towards net zero.
Oh, wow.
Or green hydrogen, with investment announced in last month's budget.
Okay, it's a really, really small report. There's a few of them. So I'm real quick, because fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Just he's this dude over here just doing some climate change prattle. That's what that was. All right, let's go ahead and check this out real quick.
A Spirit Airlines flight from Florida to Haiti was diverted to the Dominican Republic after it was shot at. Flight 951 left Fort Lauderdale this morning for Port-au-Prince. A flight attendant was injured by debris during the shooting. Spirit says an inspection revealed damage caused by gunfire. The airline is working to get another plane to the Dominican to bring everyone back to Florida.
What are they shooting? What are they using, AKs? The hell?
Their airlines are now reevaluating service to Haiti. The State Department issued a do not travel advisory for Haiti in March.
2 U.S.-based flights have been hit by gunfire in Haiti. First, a Spirit Airlines
I need to hear
was
this.
hit while trying to land in the capital of
See, that was like a little breaking clip. And all the other clips, this was 18 hours ago, like on the first clip that we just watched. And this is leading us up to, as we go, it'll lead closer and closer to present time. But I do want to hear this 5-minute video on this.
Prince yesterday. Then a bullet hole was found in a JetBlue aircraft, which had just left the city. The flights were suspended at the country's international airport. Jacqueline Charles is the Miami Herald's Haiti and Caribbean correspondent, and she joins me now to discuss. Jacqueline, thank you so much as always. Your reporting is crucial on events like this. Can you describe one of the questions that a lot of people are sort of wondering today is, were those gangs deliberately trying to hit those aircraft, or was there something that was happening in and around the international airport there that caused those planes to be hit by gunfire? What are you learning?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, we're waiting to hear from the Haitian authorities about,
So are you talking about when we sent, well, not we, North Korea sent troops over to Russia? We did cover that on a very small ordeal. I didn't make a whole show out of it, but this was like maybe 2 weeks ago. Like 2 weeks ago, that I knew that this was happening, and there wasn't enough information at the time. I didn't necessarily do a special show on that, but I did cover it. And yeah, this is kind of going crazy, isn't it? Now, what's going on currently with this? Because I knew that they were there, and I also knew that I believe some North Koreans actually did die already from this whole ordeal. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, though.
What took place? We know that yesterday there was panic in the streets in Port-au-Prince because we were undergoing a transfer of leadership. They were installing a new prime minister after a couple of days of, shuffling back and forth and people saying that this move.
Wow, and that's saying something, Papa. If you're worse than Sinaloa, Mexico, damn. That's crazy. That's a lot of issues. And yeah, I can see how Haiti essentially, I mean, you run out of cash, there's no more funding, there's no more money. Yeah, I mean, what are they going to resort to? People have to survive. So people get fucked up in those kind of times.
It was illegal. And some of the gangs did make declarations of violence that was going to come. But I have to tell you, what happened yesterday is sort of like the worst nightmare, right? I mean, we saw what happened earlier this year where the airport was shut down for 3 months. I mean, the police and the army were deployed there. They destroyed a lot of houses. But there's always been this concern that the gangs would actually shoot at an airport.
That's fucking real, Straight Jacket. That's crazy. So now I want to hear what they're shooting this airline with, like an AK?
Crap. And we had last month, we had a UN helicopter, but yesterday this was also major.
Yeah, indeed. The other crisis that Haiti is facing, of course, Jacqueline, is this constitutional crisis with regards to who actually is leading the country. As you know, there hasn't been an election since 2016. The Senate terms have expired. So where are we now? I mean, I know that Gary Coney is signing official documents.
When do you think that money supply, stopped?
as the prime minister of Haiti, but what is the situation as you understand it?
Well, we are actually today on our third prime minister in 10 months. I mean, Gary Conille was booted out of office over the weekend. Today, after saying that this was illegal, unconstitutional, and fighting it, he finally relented and he issued a tweet where he basically welcomed the new prime minister and wished him good luck in this mission.
What? This is crazy. I'm just hearing of this for the first. I mean, I guess I haven't been like keeping my super eyes open for Haiti specifically, but damn, I did. I mean, I knew it's, gang wars and shit that goes on down there, but I had no idea.
Prime Minister Alexis Fizeme. He's a businessman educated in the United States. He previously ran unsuccessfully.
They really have a leader problem from the sound of it, like bad.
For the Haitian Senate. His father's a well-known activist who was involved in the disarmament in the early 2000s. But he's got his work cut out for him. We've got a little bit over 400 foreign troops in Haiti. But what we have seen in the last couple of months since June, since the first contingent started arriving, is a number of neighborhoods have fallen under.
Even though a 50 cal is pretty mega, but yeah, and of course, what could be used and stuff like that, definitely small arms. It's definitely not an RPG that's hitting them yet. Like that's crazy. Or it's not some javelin.
Gangs. Just last night, gangs moved into a community, Faux Parisien, which is not far from the border with the Dominican Republic. They set fire to an orphanage, and there are a number of Americans who are there who are running.
Anson Knowles, I'll make a whole ass episode out of that shit. How about this? I'll cover that entire ordeal tomorrow morning. How about that?
Centers, and they
I want to look into it and dig into it.
And on edge for the last couple of months because after 2 years of resisting the gangs, the community next door fell in July, and now we're seeing that the gangs have finally made it into Faux Parisien. And there were dozens of heavily armed individuals, and they actually videotaped this to show what they were doing.
The other question that I have for you, Jacqueline, is in addition to the political turmoil that is unfolding in Haiti, the gang violence, is the issue of weapons. And I know you've done some...
No freaking kidding, Papa.
Incredible reporting over the last couple of years around this. Help people understand who are watching this broadcast right now how Haiti became awash in guns. Part of it has to do with the very lax laws that we have here in the United States.
Definitely have
and the
lax
ability
laws.
of people to smuggle guns into Haiti from Florida, for example, and other places. But just describe how the country went from having few weapons 20 years ago to now being awash with the kind of weapons that you normally
Very interesting there, Straight Jacket.
normally see on battlefields.
Well, exactly. Americans often ask, why should I care about this? And the reality is that the guns that are killing people in Haiti, and already this year, over 3,800 people have been killed, at least documented by gang violence. These guns are coming from the United States. I mean, not just in Haiti, but throughout the Caribbean, where we're seeing an explosion in homicides as a result of guns. In Florida, where I live, they're coming through the ports. The ports are not checking shipments that are going out unless they receive a tip. And so they arrive in Haiti, a country that is under a U.S. arms embargo. What that means is that the Haitian police, the Haitian government, does not have easily access to guns. They have to get permission from the U.S. government when they purchase guns. And often countries don't want to sell them guns because of this U.S. embargo. But yet at the same time, these gangs are acquiring guns enough to basically blow out the windows of an armored vehicle of the U.S. Embassy.
This is crazy, Papa.
Just a couple of weeks ago, the U.S. State Department, they confirmed that two of their armored...
I knew it was bad, but I mean, shooting, literally shooting at planes and shit and helicopters. Dude, this is crazy.
Vehicles assigned to the embassy was shot at, and one of them actually had the windows blown out. I received those pictures. So just imagine in terms of the caliber and the firepower that these gangs have, and the police, they have nowhere near this kind of firepower.
Jacqueline Charles, I urge everyone who's watching us here.
Very, very true with that, Steve. They wouldn't be necessarily maybe shooting at our airplanes and shit, but they'll definitely, I mean, look at London. Look at how that worked out for them. I mean, now they just got record, stabbings and shit.
at CBS News to check out your reporting for the Miami Herald. You've been covering the Caribbean and Haiti specifically for almost 2 decades. Your reporting is crucial to our understanding of what's happening there. We appreciate your time with us. Thank you, Jacqueline.
All right. So let's go ahead and move back over, and we're not going to go back into the summit. Okay, there's no need for us to go back into the summit there. I already got what I needed out of that ordeal. We heard what we needed to hear. I think we all can agree that we can move on from that. Brother Dean, he said got signal jammed, internet dropped out. That sucks, Dean. He's over there in Israel, so I don't even know what is going down with them currently. Like, I can only imagine what's happening. The 190, the one question I had for you, Dean, is the 190 missiles that were launched into Israel by Hezbollah. When did those happen? Was the reporter referring to those 190 or 180? It was like 181. I forget exactly what it was. But is there a new set of 190 missiles that you guys just dealt with? And that's what I want to figure out. That was the one question I have for Brother Dean over there. Fix that problem. Easy ban travel to Haiti. Yeah, no kidding. Not even a joke. And I'm sure that the pilots won't be offended. Oh, it happened literally fucking yesterday. Wow. Okay, so that's why I wanted to ask that question, especially to someone actively there, over there. I wanted to figure that out. So this just happened yesterday in the sense of them launching into you guys. Wow. And then the response was this morning. Got it. Let's go back to this. We got a new report now.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Jeanne Francine. The time now 6:41 here on the East Coast. We appreciate you getting all of your top stories and breaking news headlines from us right here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, no kidding. These guys over here, believe it or not, why I refer to Live Now Fox from Fox a lot is because they do so well at keeping up with the story. And this is not a biased thing. They honestly break news better than any other mainstream media platform. They just do. You know what I mean? They do a very good job at it. And I love the people that they bring on as experts. I love shit like that. So anyways.
Your top stories here on Live Now this Tuesday morning. And as we do so, we know that United Nations Climate Change Summit is top of mind for many of you all. The opening statements and remarks about to get underway. Let's listen in.
Okay, so now this is the COP president. He's muted. He's got a red mic. Do you see?
The 19th session of the Conference of the Parties serving as the meeting of the parties to the Kyoto Protocol and the 6th session of the
We can actually hear what's happening now. I now have a little bit of a more care to listen.
Conference of the Parties.
Oh, is this the COP29 summit?
Serving as a meeting of the party to the Paris Agreement.
That's what it is. It's the COP29 summit.
Anlaşmasının paydaşları ve tarafları toplantılarına hepiniz hoş geldiniz.
This afternoon, we are honored to have with us His Excellency Philemon Young, President of the United Nations General Assembly, and Professor Jim Skier, Chair of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Distinguished delegates, it is my pleasure to invite the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Climate Change Secretariat.
Oh, no.
Simon
Okay, so what? I don't understand why this guy's here then. We have the COP29 summit today. I'm not really sure why this man is speaking at the climate summit. I'm not even sure why that would be relative. I have no idea what the tie is right now.
To address the plenary. Executive Secretary, you have the floor.
What's up, Brother Steve? Good to see you up in here. So it is, okay, so that's what it is. The COPs, okay, now I see it. COP29, okay, is this, they're having the summit at the exact same time with the United Nations climate change bullshit. Now I understand. It's a two-part thing. Got it.
Excellencies.
What Trump thing? What specific Trump thing, Brother Steve?
Talk about climate action as being mostly about saving future.
No kidding, Hardwire.
generations.
Honestly, I don't know why we entertain this bullshit. I'm being very real. Like, we have shit about to blow the fuck up. For real. We're watching the shit actively, but this is what we're focused on? This is what we're doing? Climate change? Why would anybody give a fuck? This is crazy. Don't we have priorities in this shit? Why do we fund this garbage? We need to get rid of the UN and NATO, dude. We need to fucking just pull out completely and say, fuck everybody.
But there's been a seismic shift in the global climate crisis. Because the climate crisis is fast becoming an economy killer right now, today, in this political cycle. Climate impacts are carving up to 5% off GDP in many
100%,
countries.
Jay. Yep, you
The
said
climate
it.
crisis is a cost of living crisis because
I
climate
agree.
disasters are driving up costs for households.
Oh, shut the hell up. This dude is so cap.
Stop the cap.
Dude, let's get fucking real. You're not going to discuss some climate change at a climate change conference and say that what they're paying currently now in their house will be more than what you're saying. There's no way. If you come involved, everything gets way more expensive. What the fuck are you going on about?
And businesses. Worsening climate impacts will put inflation on steroids unless every country can take bolder climate action. Let's learn the lessons from the pandemic when billions suffered because we didn't take the collective action fast enough, when supply chains were smashed.
Bro.
Let's not make that mistake again. Climate finance is.
How are you going to try to correlate the coronavirus, the pandemic, to climate change? Dude, like, this guy's a full-on politician. That's who he is. This guy must be some, like, behind-the-scenes, like, crazy-ass fucking, I don't know what is going on here, or a lobbyist. I have no idea, but this is fucked up crazy, dude. This is what we prioritize. This is where we're sending our money, everybody. Yay! United Nations, fucking killing it out here. Yeah, killing everyone's pockets. And fucking them over with some climate change bullshit.
Global inflation insurance.
Yep, exactly,
Rampant
Dean.
climate costs should be public enemy number one. Letting this issue languish halfway down cabinet agendas is a recipe for disaster. But this isn't just about saving your
No way, I didn't see that,
and your
Hank.
people. Bolder climate action can drive economic opportunity and abundance everywhere.
No, he was making a reference to when we were going through that. He's like, let me remind you that when we were going through the pandemic and the cost of being at home by electricity or whatever is or whatever they're trying. I don't even know how they're trying to correlate that, to be honest. It's a false equivalency. You can't even compare what you're trying to do and what Rona was is totally two different things. I don't know why they just allow these idiots to speak like this. I mean, it's kind of crazy. This is where our money is funding. This is what's happening.
Clean energy.
I'm actually glad we kind of came back to this so I can hammer these fucking idiots.
Can be the bedrock of your economies. It means more jobs, more growth, less pollution choking cities, healthier citizens, and stronger citizens, stronger businesses. Billions of people simply cannot afford for their government to leave COP29 without a global climate finance
So these
goal.
guys are going to shut down. These guys are going to shut down. Look at this. COP29 also addresses fossil fuel transitions and rules for carbon markets. We're fucked. This is dog shit. That is fucking crazy. Oh my God, dude, this is crazy.
So for leaders here and back in capitals, make it clear that you expect a strong set of outcomes. Tell your negotiators, skip the posturing and move directly to finding common ground. Bring those positions
Thank
together.
you, Todd.
We also need your direct engagement on new national climate targets and plans, NDCs. So all of you can benefit from the boom.
Okay, this is so rough to hear this. I mean, this is a hard one to sit through. So no, I'm doing my best here, but make sure you guys hit that like button, man. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube, and it helps out the show immensely, man. It's free to do so. I very much appreciate you guys.
In clean energy and climate resilience. These are not easy times.
Yes, he is.
But despair
perfect timing.
is no strategy.
Perfect fucking timing.
And it's not warranted. Our process is strong and it will endure. After all,
You know why they're doing it like this? Because Harris was supposed to win this whole ordeal, and then she was going to back all this. You guys know the deal, 100%. They were not expecting motherfucker Trump to walk in and say, "Hey bitches, I'm here. Hey, yeah, we're shutting all this shit down."
Cooperation is the only way humanity survives global heating. The time for hand-wringing is over, so let's get on with the job. I thank you.
Thank you, Executive
No
Secretary.
kidding, Blair.
It is my singular pleasure to invite His Excellency Philemon Yang, President of the United Nations General Assembly, to deliver a message to the plenary. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
This is terrible.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, we meet at a moment of great need.
No, at great greed. No, not great need, great greed. You misspoke there, stupid.
Stupid.
There's no need.
Let's take several measures to avert further climate disaster and ensure our resilience.
Stop it, bro.
How can we do that? Firstly, we must deliver on the necessary finance commitments. Let me be clear, without financing, climate action will simply not happen. So a first key outcome of COP29 must be the
Yo, what up,
delivery
David?
of
Good
a
to see
new
you up in here.
collective quantified goal for climate finance to address the unmet promise of $100 billion per year to support developing countries in their climate.
Did you just hear that?
Address the unmet promise of $100 billion per year.
$100 billion per year
to support developing countries in their climate response. Climate finance should be
$100 billion per year.
Additional to official development assistance.
It is the best
To
button.
put it simply, no developing countries should have to choose between sustainable development and addressing climate change. We need to achieve both at the same time. I am pleased to note that the Loss and Damage Fund exists since last year, and I hope to see ambitious pledges towards it as we go forward. Excellencies, a second key outcome of COP29 must be to continue.
I'm not even surprised. I didn't see that, Dean. He says, "Hey, Mike Ball, you see that Newscomb?" Yes. By the way, not Newsom. Newscomb is raising our gas tax by 65 cents per gallon. Not even fucking surprised. Not even surprised. Meanwhile, I'm paying, $2.89 a gallon here in the South, while you guys continue to pay, $7 for your shit. Crazy.
Efforts while reaffirming our goal to limit global temperatures as we agreed to in Paris and last September with the Pact for the Future.
We need to stop all funding to the United Nations and to NATO.
Our third outcome at COP29.
Wow. And they want to shut down a refinery in Northern California. Not even surprised. Unreal.
Is to fix the adaptation dilemma.
For real, Hank.
Not the cap. As it stands, current global financial flows for adaptation, both private and public, remain insufficient, as highlighted by the 6th assessment report of the Intergovernmental.
Look at what all of our money is going to. This is crazy. Like, I'm actually glad that this is wide out in the open. Like, I really hope people are like going, you know what? Fuck this. I really hope people see through this bullshit. There's no way people are believing this crock of shit, are they? There's no way. There's just no way.
Panel on climate change. As a result, our capacity to implement effective adaptation strategies and build resilience.
How many jobs lost?
Particularly in developing nations remains severely limited. We must do much better, striving to build momentum from the Pact for the Future, which member states adopt.
Whether people are liking it or not, he's got that leadership quality. Absolutely.
Last September, the Pact was crafted to reinvigorate our multilateral system and make much needed progress.
I'm going to have to save that.
Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. COP29 is an opportunity to do just that, delivering meaningful outcomes that demonstrate solidarity in the face of immense adversity.
Yeah, they pay per liter up there in Canada for gas.
As we look towards COP30 to be hosted by Brazil, we must recognize
What's up, Beaker? Good to see you, man. Good morning.
Enhance international cooperation and the international enablement.
No fucking kidding, Blair. Jesus. You want to actually do better for the environment, pick up trash out of the ocean.
Environment to stimulate ambition in the next round of nationally determined contributions. Excellencies, we commend Azerbaijan's presidency of COP29, the COP29 presidency's initiatives, such as the Climate Action Finance Fund, demonstrate that Azerbaijan is leading correctly and should be an example for all of us. Excellencies, the urgency of the climate crisis requires decisive action.
There's no way people are believing any of this crock of shit. Please tell me in the chat that there's no way they're not. There's no way that they're actually believing this shit. No way. People at home and shit, no way.
To do that, we must commend the establishment of a COP Troika. This initiative will be crucial in maintaining continuity.
Well, exactly, Hank. Exactly why they went from, global cooling or global, what do they call it? Global heat or whatever. And then I forget what they used on that side, but I remember global cooling, global warming. That's the word I was looking for, the nomenclature. But yeah. And then they realized, oh, wait, it fluctuates all the fucking time. We're going to have to just call it climate change. Yeah, because now we can scam motherfuckers out of it and they can't say, oh, well, now it's getting cold. Now it's getting hot. No shit, dumbass.
And coherence.
Unreal.
In our efforts ensuring that each conference builds on the progress of the last with greater focus and ambition. The lives and livelihoods of future generations depend on our decisions.
He said, we have a big need to do this. No, you have a big greed. You have a lot of greed. You want to line some motherfucking pockets, including yours, cuh. I get you.
Here today. Let's seize the moment. Thank you.
Get the hell out of the stage, off the stage. Man, Why are you guys clapping like idiots?
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Those are the sheep. Those are the sheep over there clapping.
It is my distinct pleasure to invite Professor Jim Skier, Chair of Intergovernmental Panel.
Yeah, no
on
kidding,
Climate
America
Change, to
Uncensored. That's
address
funny.
the plenary. Professor Skier, you have the floor.
Yo, we got brother Shay up in the building. Shout out to you, kind sir, over there in Dublin, Ireland. That's a big W, man. He says, hello, Mike, and everyone in the chat. Hope all is well with you all today. Peace and respect. Totally the real people. Fuck the rest of them. Hey, Shay. I'm on that type of time. And I'm also about to do some left-handed tobacco activities. You dig? Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the chair of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, it's an honour to address the high-level segment of COP29. Climate change is no longer an abstract threat for a distant future. It's been unfolding in front of our eyes.
By the way, if you guys see these links in the chat, like right here, we got Hardwire, we got Straight Jacket, we've got Biker News Canada. You guys, all these that you see here, the links, hit that. They're in the Insane Wheels Network, man. Like, go over there and subscribe to those links. I swear you won't be disappointed. I promise that.
In the 12 months since the last COP in the UAE, people across Asia and in the Sahel have endured extreme temperatures. Communities in the Americas have fought against devastating wildfires, and flood defences were put to the test in Central Europe when confronted with intense rainfall. Not to mention more recent events in Valencia. Many people have lost their homes, their livelihoods, and their lives. Communities have been shaken.
I'm really glad that this is honestly being, shot live. I'm going to be very real. I'm very glad that this is being covered because the American people can go, oh shit, this is where our money's going? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we a part of this? We need to fucking say, fuck this shit. For real. This is insane.
To their core. And global warming is unequivocally caused by human activities.
Of course they're laughing all the way to the bank. They get paid fucking billions of dollars back behind this shit.
Of greenhouse gases that arise from unsustainable energy
Thank you,
use,
Brother Beaker.
land use and land use change, and lifestyle patterns. The extremes we are witnessing have been aggravated by human-induced climate change. This is the new normal. Imagine what is in store in the coming decades if we don't act swiftly and decisively. With every fraction of a degree of warming, we face greater threats. Children born today will not know a world without climate change.
Man, I bet you they had this summit all lined up way before the election. They were going to have this whole thing planned out to where Kamala Harris was supposed to win. And then she would have been able to co-sign all of this shit and then allocate all that money.
The IPCC
Timing
has
is
shown
impeccable.
that we, and furthermore they, will live in a world marked by more intense storms, exceptional heat waves, devastating floods and droughts, a world where food chains are disrupted and where diseases reach new countries.
Exactly, Jay.
Today, our chances of
I say just go take your fucking boat out there and get your skimmers put out and start skimming the water for plastics and garbage that's in the ocean. That will do way better for the environment. It would flourish a fuck ton of shit. It would just flourish. But yet, no, we're going to focus on some EVs, electric vehicles. Unfucking real.
Limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
They have a narrative.
On a very slender thread. The recent UNEP GAP report concluded
Yes,
that
please,
global
Mr. Boulay, you don't have to ask, brother. You're a mod yourself. So absolutely. Please do promote yourself. Absolutely. He's got an amazing channel, guys. Mr. Boulay is actually here in the state of Alabama. Shout out to Bama, by the way. Roll Tide, you dig? But he's very, very in tune with all of the precious metals. I mean, like for real, like he studies it. I mean, he's actively in the business of precious metals. And you guys need to go over there for real and check him out as well. Like the man's knowledge behind this shit is immense. So big W, man.
7.5% per year through to 2035 to return us to a 1.5 degree pathway. If we delay more ambitious action to 2030, this becomes an unprecedented 15% per year. Even limiting warming to 2 degrees is at risk. But this does not have to be the case. As the IPCC 6th assessment report demonstrated, we have the know-how, the tools and the financial resources to avoid the worst impacts of climate change. A world where transport is no longer polluting.
Abso-motherfucking-lutely, Jay. 1000% fact right there.
Our
That's
cities
said, right?
are green, and where we have transitioned away from fossil fuels. We've shown that carbon pricing, regulations and other interventions have already resulted in gigatons of avoided emissions, and more can be achieved if policies and measures are scaled
Absolutely,
up
brother
and
Beezer, be
deployed
good, man.
more widely. Furthermore, we've shown that climate action...
Okay, listen to the music in the background that they have to add into this bullshit in order to make it sound like magical. And do you see how propaganda works? Like, they're doing some psychological shit over there. That's fucked.
Can contribute to other development
They've got
goals,
soft piano playing in the background.
such as improving air quality and human health.
Unreal.
With climate change already on us, we must address adaptation. The IPCC will be paying particular attention to this in the coming cycle. Most adaptation so far is fragmented, small in scale, incremental, sector-specific, and focused more on planning than implementation. Hard limits to adaptation, as well as soft limits caused by lack of resources and institutional capacity, are being reached in some sectors and regions. But we can take measures to address the triple planetary crisis of climate.
Every single one of them flew on their own fucking plane. Yeah, absolutely. You think they're doing some economy shit? Yeah, right. There's no way. There's no way that the people are falling for this shit.
Biodiversity and pollution. We can increase our resilience to the impacts of climate change.
This is the biggest crock of shit I've ever fucking witnessed, by the way. This is the biggest crock of shit I've ever witnessed.
Decision support tools and implementing more early warning systems. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished excellencies, the IPCC will continue to provide timely, robust, policy-relevant information.
Once this guy's done speaking, I've heard enough. I've already heard enough. But as soon as this guy's done speaking, we're going to move it on. There's no way I'm listening to this bullshit anymore.
Adaptation efforts and cuts in emissions. But the resolution of this global crisis is now in your hands. Decisions made here at COP29 will shape the legacy we leave behind to our children and grandchildren, and for the billions of people who deserve.
Yo, brother Chris Lestrange over here, VK's #1. Hey, man. In South Africa, Chris Lestrange, man. Hell yeah, let's get it. W, kind sir.
Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, we're done with your ass. This was the biggest crock of shit I've ever witnessed, ever. I can't even, like, you guys know I have patience, like insane patience, where I can sit through some like real liberal prattle and actually like not sit there and get emotional or anything like that. But yo, this is crazy. I'm really glad though that this was showed to the public like this. I'm glad that Fox ended up picking this up, because I think people need to understand where their fucking money's going. And $100 billion a year to foreign countries. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing out here? And now you want to focus on EV and getting rid of everything. Oh my God. I can't even get in. I'm not going to get myself wound tight on this. I can't. I've got to keep this moving. We got to move on. Yeah, that's crazy. That's some crazy fucking talk. Insane.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Jeanne Francine, 1 minute shy from the top of the 7 o'clock hour here on the East Coast.
Dude,
right
especially when they're playing fucking soft piano behind it to get you to psychologically fucking, like, this is crazy propaganda. This is crazy. I have to understand that all of you guys see through the bullshit, right? Like, I know you guys do, right? Like, there's no way people are out here believing this rhetoric. No way.
Now we want to transition to an update as relates to President-elect Donald Trump. Take a look at your screen. Just a week after Trump's election victory, a Manhattan judge is poised to decide whether to uphold the hush money verdict or dismiss it because of a U.S. Supreme Court.
Virgin in Alabama, I didn't even know they had those. I didn't even know they had those in Alabama. That's crazy.
Decision back in July that gave presidents broad immunity from criminal prosecution. Judge Juan Merchan has said he will issue a written opinion Tuesday, which is today, on Trump's request to toss his conviction and either order a new trial or dismiss the indictment entirely. Joining us live this morning to further discuss this news alert is trial attorney Jeremy Rosenthal. Jeremy, always a pleasure having you on the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Gina. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So a lot to dissect. First, we need to go back in time before the election happened.
This is the attorney speaking for Trump. This is a big ordeal right now. Donald Trump's legal woes remain at the forefront despite re-election. So this will be interesting.
Before we have a new president-elect, Donald Trump, set the stage for us as it relates to this hush money trial.
Right. So we remember that we had the hush money trial in New York State. And as part of that trial, what happened was the prosecution's theory was that Donald Trump had paid Stormy Daniels with money and that doing so was a campaign finance violation. And part of the evidence that they had, a very, I think a small part of it, particularly from Hope Hicks, was that while Donald Trump was in the White House, he made certain comments to her, talked about it with her. And what happened after the fact was that the Supreme Court came back with this immunity ruling and said, you can't take things that the president says and use it against him when he was the president if he's acting in an official capacity. And that's a very, very confusing thing. So what you have is in this New York conviction, you have a little bit of evidence that was, you might say, infected or no good or bad. Now Judge Merchan has to decide whether you throw the whole case out for that one reason. And that's what we're expecting today to find out.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that detailed breakdown. So a lot to dissect as it relates to this ruling today. Some of the viewers kind of confused this morning, Jeremy, as it relates to what that ruling might look like, because as the hush money trial was going on at the time, President-elect Donald Trump was just campaigning. He was not a sitting president. How does that resonate with the Supreme Court?
That's got to be such a shit feeling right there. You know what I mean? That's so fucked. Oh my God. Totally fucked.
Ruling moving forward with Merchan's potential ruling today.
While he was candidate Trump back in 2016, none of these things are barred as far as evidence goes. That's all fair game, and any action that he took, also fair game. It's when he took the oath of office and afterwards
that's right, Steve,
is really sort of what's in question. And this happens, these types of things happen in trial a lot, and that not where somebody gets elected president. That has only happened once in a trial. But what might happen in a trial, for instance, is a judge might allow evidence in that's hearsay or against the rules of evidence or that violates.
They always seem to do that right there, Blair.
And then what the court has to do is they have to say, okay, we're going to look at everything. And we're going to look and do what's called a harm analysis. Did this one piece of evidence or pieces of evidence?
Yeah, it's fucked up, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you just won a re-election, and now, next thing you know, now you're sitting in fucking court. Like, dude, that's so fucked up.
That should not have come in. Did that ruin the whole thing? That's the harm.
This whole thing is grasping at straws.
Harm analysis that Judge Merchan is doing, and he's doing it prophylactically because it may be the appellate courts that ultimately throw it out, and Judge Merchan doesn't want to be reversed by them. So he may throw it out on his own. That's what he's looking at.
So let's say that things move in favor of President-elect Donald Trump. Someone has to take the fall, right? Or is the case entirely dismissed and then we just move ahead and look forward to the transition of power?
Yeah.
We would
say goodbye to all your spare money. That shit is now gonzo, Steve.
start over. I don't know that the judge would be able to
Much love and
completely
respect, kind sir.
dismiss the case
Be good and safe.
based on this, but he would say, okay, Donald Trump, you get a new trial, which puts us sort of in that funky little, okay, well, now what, right? Now he's the sitting president. And in all likelihood, either the case gets dismissed by the prosecutor entirely, or it gets abated, paused while he serves his term. Maybe they never get back to it in 2029 or something like that. But if it certainly would be very good news for Donald Trump if this conviction is reversed.
Of course.
Yeah, and the indictment could be tossed entirely. That is another option, correct?
Potentially. Normally the remedy when you have some evidence that was improper is a new trial.
That's right.
The judge would probably
Damn.
say, well, and there's an issue that's called legal sufficiency, which means the judge has to basically take out that one little point and say, okay, well, first off, did it ruin the jury's take of it? And then if it didn't ruin the jury's take of it, did it follow the law? What was the law in the case? Did the prosecutor's case sufficiently address all of the elements in the case, which I think it did. The only issue here would be whether the statements and any activity that Donald Trump had in the White House, did that sufficiently ruin the entirety of the case? So much of the case was predicated on things that he did before he took the Oval Office and all the money transactions, again, largely before he took the Oval Office. So I don't think he throws the whole thing out. I think he just gives them a start over.
Now I wonder.
Yeah, so Jeremy, can we also look at the worst case?
I wonder if since then he's actually been like figured this out, because this is all still on a live stream right here that we're reviewing right this second. It's still live to this moment. So they actually go back to the summit, of course, and they bring on a couple of other guests. I'm just going through this because I'm going through it blindly with you guys, honestly, because it's a lot of shit going on today. Like, this isn't shit that I was able to like sit back and like actually prepare for and all that shit. Okay, let's skip ahead a little bit here, and let's move it up to the courtroom of Trump right now. The last that we see is about an hour and 50 minutes
Taking
ago.
you back out to this breaking news, as we are just learning this, a judge delaying a ruling on whether to scrap Trump's conviction in the hush money case. New York Judge Juan Merchan postponing this decision on whether to undo President-elect Donald Trump's conviction in the hush money case because of a U.S. Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. Merchan had been set to rule today, but instead he told Trump's lawyers today, that he delayed this ruling until November 19th. According to emails filed in court, Trump's lawyers asked for the delay over the weekend, arguing
they did postpone it. They did postpone that. You heard it right there.
Today that he delayed this ruling until November 19th.
November 19th. Wow.
Trump's lawyers asked for the delay over the weekend, arguing there are, quote, strong reasons for the requested stay and eventually dismissal of the case in the interest of justice. A judge is decided what Merchan, he was expected to decide this today again, but President-elect Donald Trump's conviction in the hush money case because of this U.S. Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. For some more background on this, Merchan, he presided over Trump's historic trial.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's now tasked with
I could have bet all my money on it. Absolutely.
Deciding whether to toss out that jury verdict or order a new trial, or even dismiss those charges altogether. The judge's ruling also could speak to whether the former and now future commander-in-chief will be sentenced as scheduled on November 26th. Of course, all of this coming after Trump won back the White House just about a week ago, but the legal question concerns his status as a past president, not an impending one. A jury convicted Trump back in May of falsifying business records related to a $130,000 payment to porn star actor Stormy Daniels back in 2016. That payout was to buy her silence about claims that she had sex with Trump. He says they didn't, denies any wrongdoing, and maintains the prosecution was a political tactic meant to harm his latest campaign. Again, if you are just joining us on Live Now from Fox for this breaking news, judge delaying ruling on whether to scrap Trump's conviction.
And they're still going to use that shit in the left media. Yep. just like as if he was convicted. They're gonna have that rhetoric. Watch.
In that hush money case. Of course, all of this coming, as I just said,
Unreal.
after Trump won election just about a week or so ago. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on this here.
Yeah, they realized, oh shit, there's too many eyes on us right now. They're gonna see through our bullshit. We gotta delay this shit so it's not in the super mega cycle of news right now.
Live now from Fox. If we learn anything new, we will bring it out to you here. Speaking of the election of the White House, we are going to give you a live look right now of the White House in Washington, D.C., as we heard moments.
Wow, good point right here. How about the IRS ask Stormy if she paid income tax on the hush money she received? Ooh, that is a really good moded, you know what I mean? Hey, great observation there, sir.
Ago from Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger. He held a news conference regarding the election, just about 10 minutes or so of comments, and we did want to play those out for you here right now.
Morning, everyone. I guess it's almost anticlimactic, isn't it? But
oh boy.
Good morning, and thank you, Georgia. I work every day with my team.
No shit, she did do that, Beaker?
To put you, our voters, first, and that is what I've done. That's why I led to ensure that Georgia had the most secure, free, fair, and fast elections in the United States. Over the last 6 years,
we had it fair, and look how it turned out.
We have made many improvements to increase security and accessibility for voters, while at the same time improve the voter experience with short lines and fast results. I delivered on that promise, and voters responded 1 week ago with record turnout. So I digress for a second here. Speaking of fast results, we posted some of them, but for the top 5 counties that we have for fast results.
This man's a Secretary of State over there in Georgia.
4 of them got him up there before 7:01. Number 5 was Gordon County, 7:01:08 p.m. Number 1 was Floyd County. Number 2, Greene. Number 3, Douglas. 4, Brantley, and then Gordon. But that's the kind of results we had on election night. I just want
You're 1,000% right, Steve.
to give a shout out to the top 5. We have 159 counties, and I would be here a little bit long if I did every single one of them. But congratulations. Well, thank you to all the Georgians who did their duty to vote in the safest, most secure election in our nation's here. Millions of voters showed up to vote, and you voted in record numbers.
Hey, chat. Curious. When was the last time that Georgia was a red state? Was when Trump got in 2016, was Georgia red at that time? I can't remember. You guys are going to have to let me know. And then before that, when was the last time, if it was in 2016, it was red, when was the last time it went red before that?
5.3 million, just 10,000 votes short. Today, counties across Georgia will reconfirm the will of
But before that, though, when was the last time?
Georgia voters with county certifications by 5 p.m. today. I said from the beginning, some people will be happy about the election results and some will be sad. But the fact is, we won the House, the Senate, and the presidency.
W.
And every single Georgian can take it to the bank that these election results reflect the will of Georgia's voters, you, the voter. Thank you to the thousands of poll workers.
Wow, Steve.
You delivered for
That's unreal. And it's unreal that I didn't even hear that.
Voters.
And I'm in the media.
You are the real national heroes. Just like in 2020 and 2022, Georgia had a successful election because you work every day to protect every legal vote.
That's what I was looking for. Georgia has been red for a long time. Last time it was blue before 2020 was 1992. Okay, so I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know that. I thought it was primarily blue. You know, I knew it was kind of like a swing state or whatever, but I didn't realize it was like that. I had no idea.
Again, I am grateful to the voters of Georgia. I work every day to protect you, the voter, and that is what I have done. I put you first. Election integrity doesn't happen just.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, Clinton got impeached because he lied under oath, not because he got some fellatio. All right, y'all? Yes, that's why he ended up lying. So they tie it directly to that. But it's because your boy over there, lied under oath.
In the 11th hour, as some fringe activists poorly claimed to try to do this past month. It is planned years in advance. That is why I led the effort to ensure that only Americans.
That's a very interesting stat. That's why I ask these questions. I'm not afraid to ask these questions. Between me and you guys, we know everything in this bitch. You know what I mean? So big W to all you. We make it happen,
Citizens vote in our elections. And why I fought for election security to add photo ID for all forms of voting here in Georgia.
Yep, and here in Alabama, you had to show ID too.
I ran on that and I delivered. I've also led the effort to create the cleanest voter rolls.
I got you, Beaker. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Entire country by joining a multi-state partnership to ensure voters only vote once. And to those who interfere in our elections, I have a very direct message for you. Citizens.
That's good to hear, Blair.
Citizens will not be fearful of coming out to vote. In spite
he got stuck there. He did a little Biden moment right there.
Having near over 60 bomb threats, people still voted.
Damn.
We will not be coward.
They had 60 bomb threats. Yo, that is typical Georgia, isn't it? That's crazy.
You will not.
You guys in the election over there in Georgia are fucking crazy.
Sow discord and strife. It didn't work. We'll meet you again, and we'll beat you again next time. That is because.
Oh, that's actually really, really good news right there. That's really good news. I was actually worried about Arizona, not even joking. Like anything is possible. Yeah, I was super worried about that shit. Because Arizona wanted to play a whole bunch of games.
With law enforcement from the national level down to the local level. I stand here today ready to defend every legal vote, regardless.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to make a hot take right now. All right. I'm going to do a hot take. There were 0 blue states, only blue cities. 0 blue states, only blue cities.
The results, just as I did in 2020, 2022. And we look forward to certifying the 2024 elections. And that is the real integrity. Thank you. Do we have any questions or pretty well? Yes, sir. Pardon me? You got to repeat this. Scream it out louder. I hear.
We're trying to hear.
Next floor above.
We're trying to hear, dog. You guys screaming at us. Get the man the microphone, man. I'm trying to hear too, and I've got the headphones on to where I can really try. Like I can tune in. No, you can't hear this motherfucker.
Yeah. We've identified it. We believe it's foreign.
Come swallow.
Again, the Russians, now sending out additional disinformation, and that was really happened in several locations throughout the entire country. But the federal authorities will actually weigh on that. But that's our initial determination. Thank you.
Oh, Jay, that wasn't checked. Come on, man. Absolutely not. Yeah.
By 5 p.m. today, by state law. I believe every single county will be in good shape.
I think it's honestly, anytime, this is what I've found out. Every single time that we have discussed world politics, geopolitics, for some reason I get like heavily censored. And let me fix this piece of hair that's in my face. Yeah. I don't know why it does that. Because obviously, even if somebody was deleting your comments, I can see that on my side. but I cannot see it when YouTube does it before I can even say nothing. I hate what about that whole ordeal is when you try to message your own people on your own platform in the chat and you get blocked. You know what I mean? Like that, getting censored on your own platform, dog, that shit hurts for real. You know, it does. I can't wait for the censorship to relax.
And have it done.
We're heavily in. Listen, and that's the one thing that's honest to God about this is almost every single one of my live streams are demonetized, or limited ads, which means you can only make like 1 penny every per dollar that you would normally get. Whatever, it's like literally you don't get paid for shit. So we are funded by you guys, man. We're funded by all of you guys. So I can't thank you guys enough for your patronage. Real quick. Listen, man, please consider becoming a member for only $2.99 a month. I made sure that it is not, it's, something that is not absurd. That's less than what it would be for a cup of coffee for the entire month. So I very much appreciate you guys and the help that you guys have done up to this point. I mean, you guys, it's unreal the help that we get around here, man. So I can't thank you guys enough for just being here. Hit that like button, though. That's free to do so. What's up, Joker? I can't hear anybody in the background. Can't hear what they're saying.
There shouldn't be. I think the results were very conclusive. Whether people like them or not, those results were very conclusive. But after 2018, Stacey Abrams lost by 55,000 votes. We had about 10 lawsuits. Roll it forward. We had some in 2020, obviously, on the other side. But I don't anticipate any. I think what we've shown.
Newsmax map. I'm going to have to look it up. Send it to me on Instagram. That's what I can have you do, Hook Dog. You can send that to me on my Instagram real quick. Yeah.
And these are the results. And so we fully expect that people accept the results. I think that would be a healthy thing for our republic. Yeah, we had about 4 or 5 of those precincts.
Are you serious, Jay? That's crazy, yo. Dude, they're going way far beyond this with this censorship. Oh, thank God Kamala Harris didn't make it in. Oh my God.
We're closed as dogs went through there and swept. Some of them were like 20 minutes and one was up to 50 minutes. But other than that, that was just about 4 or 5 in the entire state with well over 65. We identified very early on that it was foreign-based. We said it was
That's
Russians.
right, Beaker.
In the afternoon, the FBI confirmed that. So we just continued on, and so did the poll workers.
Hell yeah,
really, the
dog.
law enforcement said, it's safe, continue working. It's not a credible threat.
No. All right, so we are coming
What
back
happened there?
with some breaking news right now that
breaking.
we wanted to pull up for you here. And I did want to pull up this shot of Baton Rouge, Louisiana right now, as that's where we are taking you out to, as a new Louisiana law is requiring the 10 Commandments to be displayed in every public classroom by January.
Oh, that's fucking dope. That should be in every single classroom. Why wouldn't it be? Dude, that is awesome.
First, it has been temporarily blocked after a federal judge granted a preliminary injunction on Tuesday.
Listen, this is all I've got to say about the 10 Commandments and this whole thing. This is where Christian ethics stem from. But here's the deal. You don't have to be a Christian or whatever. If you just follow what the 10 Commandments are, you will be a better human being. And I would love to sit here and hear the cope and hear what the degenerates love to try to throw that away. No, if you just follow the 10 Commandments, you don't even have to believe in God, dude. Don't even have to. If you follow the 10 Commandments, guess what? You'll be a better human being.
Judge said
Why wouldn't we have that in our schools?
Law is unconstitutional on its face, and plaintiffs are likely to win their case with claims that the law violates the First Amendment. This ruling marks a win for opponents of the law who argue that it is a violation of the separation of church and state, and that the poster-sized display of the 10 Commandments would isolate students, especially those who are not Christian. Proponents say that the measure is not.
They're always going to just go immediately to the religion aspect. They're not going to think big picture. They're just not. They're not going to think big picture like I just broke it down to you. It's just not going to happen.
Religious, and that
Unfortunate.
it has historical significance to the foundation of U.S. law. U.S. District Judge John W. DeGravelis in Baton Rouge issued the order in an ongoing lawsuit
appreciate that,
filed by a
Beaker.
group of parents of Louisiana public school children. They say that the legislation violates First Amendment language forbidding government establishment of religion and guaranteeing religious liberty. Again, if you are just joining us on Live Now from Fox, so this is a big breaking news day here for us. We are giving you that live
all
look
day
at-
long breaking news. Crazy shit in the media today. I mean, this is crazy. We have a lot of shit going on today.
At Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as we tell you this breaking news that this federal judge has blocked Louisiana law that requires classrooms to display the 10 Commandments. We're going to go away for a quick 2-minute break on Live Now from Fox. More on this in just two short minutes.
You guys will have a 2-minute delay. Not me. We don't have commercials on this bitch. Big negative, big negative.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox.
What's up, Tony?
Again,
Good to see you,
taking
man.
you out to this breaking news right now. That's Baton Rouge, Louisiana. As we bring you this story, a new Louisiana law that requires the 10 Commandments to be displayed in every public classroom by January 1st has been temporarily blocked after federal.
Wow. Did you see how fast that came? Holy shit. They were just breaking it, and now judge blocked it. Now what? You know, let's go ahead and hear what the reasonings of this is going to be.
Public classroom by January 1st has been temporarily blocked after federal judge granted a preliminary injunction on Tuesday, today. The judge said the law is, quote, unconstitutional on its face.
Wow. Wow. That is fucking crazy. They're saying it's unconstitutional on its face. Wow. What a fucking statement.
And plaintiffs are likely to win their case with claims that the law violates the First Amendment. This ruling marks a win for opponents.
I thought they were breaking it and we didn't hear that's the whole thing that I thought it was. That's crazy. I thought they were going to decide it. I didn't know it was already blocked. I didn't hear it, I guess. And I guess I didn't read it. I didn't know it was actually blocked. I thought they were going to rule on it. Damn it.
Of the
That's
law
crazy.
who argue that it is a violation of the separation of church and state, and that the poster-sized display of the 10 Commandments would isolate students, especially those who are not Christian. But proponents say that the measure is not solely religious, that it has historical significance to the foundation of U.S.
Yeah. When is the In God We Trust gonna leave our currency now? Watch. I mean, just now everything's just gonna be outlawed. This is crazy.
law. The U.S. District Judge
And it'll be
in Baton Rouge issued the
unconstitutional and
order
all
in an
this shit.
ongoing lawsuit filed by a group of parents of Louisiana public school
Unreal.
children. They say that the legislation violates First Amendment language.
Thank you, Hook Dog. I'm
forbidding
gonna check it out
government
now.
Establishment of religion and guaranteeing religious liberty. The new law in Louisiana is a Republican state, as we know, and it's in the Bible Belt, and it was passed by the state's GOP-dominated legislature earlier this year. The legislation has been touted by Republicans, including now President-elect Donald Trump, and it's one of the latest pushes by conservatives to incorporate religion into classrooms. Again, if you are just joining us for this breaking news on Live Now from Fox, a federal judge blocking Louisiana law that requires classrooms to display the 10 Commandments. We do have to sneak in another break here on Live
Yeah,
Now
that's
from Fox.
that's
When we come back,
fucking
we have
crazy. Not even surprised. Not even surprised. All right, let's go ahead and show off what Hook Dog just sent us. So this is a live map of the House results. All right, this is like, I mean, it shows literally everything about each state, and I love this shit right here. So it shows even the governor result. I mean, obviously governor results and all that shit. That's awesome. This is a really, really cool. So let me go ahead and put this in the chat for you guys, because I think this would be cool information for you guys to have as well. So let me go ahead and put that in there. Check that out, especially, you know, because I won't be able to break down the entire map result. But, you know, it shows the House, the Senate. I mean, this is beautiful. This is a really, really cool piece to have. You know, definitely a lot of information that's going to be pouring out of this. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be studying this. This is really cool. Shows the governor, Senate, House. This is great. What a fantastic, I never even saw this. I'm glad that you sent this to me, dude. for real, because I'm going to be checking it out for real. I'm going to be going in the back and kind of gaining some information out of it. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so now I guess there's something going on here in the media here. Let's check it out. All right.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. Now 10:50 here on the East Coast and 8:50 on the West Coast. All right, so we did want to pop up this image on your screen here right now. This is Francisco.
We sure did win the House, by the way. If you guys didn't know that already, we won the House. That was official.
Cabrera. He's 29 years old. A little bit earlier this morning, senior law enforcement officials announced the federal sentencing for him. He's a violent felon who led a joint task force on a high-speed shootout on I-4 in January of 2022. He ultimately pleaded guilty to
In what state? I didn't catch a state.
Commercial and armed robbery, carjacking, attempted murder, and possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. Again, this does take us out to Florida. We did hear from law enforcement a little bit earlier this morning. Let's turn over there and listen in.
Good.
Damn straight, Blair.
Well, good morning. Thank you for coming. Appreciate everyone's attendance this morning. Today, I'm proud to be joined by the U.S. Attorney of the Middle District, Roger Handberg.
And also Supreme Court. And also Supreme Court. You got to think of all the trickle down on that. Yeah. Yeah. Literally won the presidency, Senate, House, and all now, yeah, it's full on Republican control. I mean, this is what that red wave is. That talk. Yeah, that's what the red wave is. Look at how the response was on this shit when people needed to come out.
Agent in charge, Kurt Howard, and Chief Deputy with Hillsborough County, Joe Maurer, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Today, we're going to talk to you about an incident that occurred in January of 2022. A lot of you will remember it was an incident involving a shooting and a pursuit out on the New Tampa Highway that resulted in ultimately some gunfire being exchanged between Lakeland police officers, ATF agents, and the suspect involved in a series of carjackings and armed robberies that had been occurring the previous days in Hillsborough County and in the Plant City area. This was brought to fruition because of a cooperation that the Lakeland Police Department has along with the federal partners and Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and the ATF and the U.S. Attorney's Office, Project Safe Neighborhoods. We had a couple detectives over in the area along with some ATF agents that were conducting surveillance on individual by the last name was Cabrera, and we were finally located him in the Plant City area. Detectives tried to stop him, and that is engendered a pursuit that came down I-4 and ultimately ended up in a shooting on the New Tampa Highway. I want to make a couple brief comments, and I'll hand it over to the US.
Did I miss it? Did he shoot at the cops? I mean, was the shootout with the cops? I mean, that's what I'm trying to get out of this.
Attorney Roger Handberg to make some additional.
That's what I think happened.
I want to talk about the
I want to know for
partnerships that
sure.
we have with our federal partners, Hillsborough County. I can tell you that a lot of things that we do here locally, particularly here in Lakeland, Polk County, Central Florida area, I don't think a lot of those things happen in other parts of the country. Maybe they do, but speaking with other police chiefs from across the country, I can tell you they don't have the partnerships and the cooperation that we get from our federal partners and local partners, and we're very blessed that we all get along, we all work together, and we all work very hard to take folks
That's
that
the
are
point.
evil off the street.
Right there,
And
Jay.
Make no mistake about it, there are evil people in this world, and they attempt to do harm. And I will tell you that if they're willing to shoot at a police officer and a federal agent, you know, they are certainly willing to shoot at just an innocent citizen or a bystander. So I think it was very important, the professionalism that was displayed by the officers, detectives, and federal agents that were and the deputies that were involved in this incident. They went from being involved in a pursuit and a running gun battle with this individual
brutal.
to when it came to an end, they immediately switched over and started providing first aid. And that just speaks to professionalism and the training and the cooperation that we put all of these men and women through.
Damn, didn't
that work
even-
in these
yeah,
different,
that's-
law enforcement agencies. So I couldn't be more proud of the way they handled it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, no citizens were hurt. No law enforcement officers were hurt.
Wow.
The only person that was hurt was the individual that was inside the car and the bad guy. And I'll let Mr. Handberg speak more to that. But I couldn't
So
be
the
more
bad guy,
proud.
and who's the other dude though? The other guy got hurt. Man, I want to know about those details.
Partnerships and the relationships that we have with our federal agencies and our federal partners and our our county partners as well.
Yeah.
So today we're going to go into a little more detail on Taste and that.
Hey,
That's very
he'd be pissed off because I would outrun his ass. You know what I mean? Imagine the one-legged motherfucker outrunning you. Yeah. That's a bummer. That's a bummer.
We'll answer some questions. So again, thank you for coming. And with that, I'll hand it over to the U.S. Attorney Roger Hamburg.
Well, thank you very much, Chief Taylor, for having us here today for this important announcement about another great case done by the law enforcement agencies you see here today. My name is Roger Hamburg. As the United States Attorney for the Middle District of Florida, I have the privilege of serving as the Chief Federal Law Enforcement Officer for 35 counties in Florida.
Yep. Praise the Lord on that.
Since taking office almost 3 years ago, I have prioritized working with our law enforcement partners to aggressively investigate and federally prosecute perpetrators of violent crime. These focused efforts have paid dividends.
Appreciate you,
During my
Beaker,
time
as
in
always.
this role, my office has increased our number of violent crime prosecutions by more than 75%. There is one primary reason for this success, and that is the law enforcement agencies who are our partners on these cases.
Again, we are listening in here to this presser, convicted felon. He's going to spend the next 4 decades behind bars for firing at federal agents while leading them on a multi-county
Damn, they didn't even kill him.
high-speed chase. Again, this takes us out to Lake
You get in a shootout with cops and you survived? Whoa.
in Florida. We do have to sneak in one more 2-minute break this hour. We will bring this back to you in full after this break.
What's up, Pablo? All right. Go into, because I do want to hear. Get to it.
19th, the team encountered Cabrera in Plant City, driving a stolen vehicle identified through intelligence, witness interviews, and video
Oh, it was a
surveillance
stolen
collected.
vehicle. That's what I also wanted to hear was like, why did they even pursue the motherfucker in the first place? But hey, you guys know that I love to like dig into shit. Like that's, I know it can be excessive sometimes, but those small details do matter.
During the robbery investigation. The operational plan included covertly following Cabrera with the intention of pulling him over safely and apprehending him. The team's plan, however, was short-lived after Cabrera spotted a police vehicle. Cabrera immediately fled, driving east into Polk County at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour during rush hour while firing blindly at officers who were in pursuit.
Damn.
The team's collective bravery, intestinal fortitude, and training kicked in. Although shot at repeatedly, the joint arrest team maintained its composure and restraint as it pursued Cabrera. One of our federal agents maintained close pursuit of Cabrera despite the barrage of gunfire and heavy I-4 traffic. As the approximately 12-mile chase entered a relatively low-density area, the agent made a calculated decision to discharge his firearm through his windshield to protect the public from Cabrera's reckless spree. Those shots wounded Cabrera twice in the lower back and, more importantly, provided the necessary time and space for the Lakeland police officers, ATF task force officers from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office to converge on the offender's vehicle, apprehend a very much still defiant Cabrera, and immediately administer first aid to it that undoubtedly
That's
kept
incredible.
Cabrera alive to this day.
They actually gave him first aid
Impressively,
like
no one
that.
was
That's
injured
crazy.
during this dangerous ordeal. Cabrera would
Motherfucker was just shooting at your ass, and now you turn around, you got him down, but now they're gonna give out medical to the. You were just shooting at me, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to have to do.
plead guilty to these federal charges.
I
3
couldn't
counts of
imagine.
Armed robbery, use of firearm in furtherance of crime of violence, armed carjacking, and possessing a firearm and
There's a lot of
ammunition
restraint.
by a convicted felon.
Shows
It's
a
too early to
lot of
tell
restraint.
What else Cabrera may face in his legal future, but I can confidently say the Floridians are much safer with Francisco Cabrera locked up in prison, where he can no longer threaten our communities. I'd like to thank the members of the task force, including some of the folks here today who were brave enough to go out and apprehend Mr. Cabrera. I appreciate your loyalty and your bravery during that. With that, I will turn this over to Chief Deputy Joe Morrow, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department.
I think I heard enough there. You know what I mean? I don't need to, have another guy basically repeat the exact same thing, But I did get the, I don't think there was anything that I guess I do want to know. I'll probably have to follow up on because I'll have to dig for it. I know that it's going to take forever for us to find out. But I do want to know why the passenger got shot or hurt, whatever the case is. I do want to know why that happened, because they will have, they're going to answer that. I'll never forget the dude who stole the tank in San Diego and drove it down the freeway. Damn. Was that in San Diego, you're saying? Like in California? Or you mean like South Dakota or some shit? Because I don't even know about that incident. That's crazy. Someone stole a tank and then, yeah, that's crazy. Bad aim. Yeah, exactly, Blair. And that, wink, wink, right? But hey, listen, much love, honor, respect to everybody. I cannot thank you guys enough for spending your guys' time over here with me. I'm going to go ahead and give a raid over to, we're going to be raiding our buddy, Glenn Lawrence. You know what I mean? You guys have seen me on panels with him. I was actually on the same live he's on now. I was on the panel with him before I had gotten on to my own show this morning. So I did my appearance early this morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Anyways, with that being said, everybody, I cannot thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Thank you guys for your patronage. Thank you guys for the help that you guys immensely show and your selflessness. I can't thank you guys enough. We will see you guys tomorrow morning. We're going to get down with our bad selves like we always do. Much love, honor, respect.